Today we are in sunny Barcelona to take a first look at the brand new BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe. And in this video we're going to cover 6 essential things you've got to know. This is the Done Deal YouTube channel. Now let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about engines. Now, there is 3 different versions coming to Ireland. The base is the 220, and that is going to be a 1.5 litre petrol engine with 170 brake horsepower, and should be perfect for most people. However, if you want a little bit more power, you can get the 223 X-Drive. That is an all-wheel drive system. It also is a 2 litre petrol, which comes with over 200 horsepower. Could be very entertaining. Now, if you do want to push it that bit further, you can get this, which is the M235. That's 300 brake horsepower, all-wheel drive, good fun, and also sounds brilliant too. Now, when it comes to speccing it, you can really customize it how you like. So you're obviously seeing a bright yellow behind me, but there are 11 different colors to choose from. There's also about 3 different wheel types, and you can actually customize the interior in 5 different ways. Now, you can go one step further and opt for something called the technology pack, which is a little over €2,000. It gets you some nicer, more adaptive headlights. You also get a heads-up display on the inside, keyless entry. It also has park assist and a bunch of other options that make it a lot more pleasurable to live with. There is one more option that you can spec, and it's if you want your car to look a little bit more sporty. Now, if you don't go for the M235, you can get something called the M Sport Pro Pack. And what that does is it gives you all the bells and whistles. So you get the kind of spoiler on the rear and the kit in general, you get the rear brake calipers, the sporty seats, and it just gives it that extra look without actually having to fork out the extra money for the fast engine, but also it's a little bit slower, probably more economical if that's what you're interested in. Now, in terms of cost, it's only about €3,000, and I actually can see a lot of people maybe speccing that in Ireland. Next up, driving. And obviously we are on a mountain road in an M235, so you have to give it a little bit of enthusiasm, and it is good. The all-wheel drive system, that X-Drive, it's just so good, particularly with a car of this size. It just seems to plant it really, really well. 300 brake horsepower, it feels more on a tight little road like this, if I'm being truthfully honest. However, I do want to pull it back, because what is the general 2 Series Grand Coupe like? To start with, I think this is the perfect size car. A lot of new cars are becoming too big and too wide to use in the real world, but where we collected this car from this morning, it had a really tight car park, and it just was perfect. On top of that, it actually has the technology pack, which means that when you're in those tight spots, you can actually turn on your 360 camera and see where all the curbs and the walls are. It will also park itself too, which is pretty excellent. Another thing I have to give a shout out to is the satellite navigation. Now, it has the augmented reality, so as you're coming up and you're not sure, particularly if you're in unfamiliar spaces, which lane to be in, it will actually come up and show you, which is superb. And the heads-up display, which I know is an optional extra, is definitely worth considering, because it just means you can keep your eyes dead straight and not lose any focus whatsoever. And as a whole, between the technology, the way it drives, the size, I actually think it's really good, and it's definitely worth going for a drive. So if you do want to find where your nearest BMW dealership is, you can hit the link. From the rear, I think it looks great. This lip, the diffuser, the quad pipes, it just really has a lot of presence. But if you're looking for a 2 Series Grand Coupe, you're probably interested in boot space. And actually, this gets kind of interesting. The normal car comes with about 360 litre boot, which is smaller than something like a Volkswagen Golf. However, if you go for the M235, that comes with a bigger boot. And the reason for that is there's no 48-volt battery system, which means you've got a slightly lower boot floor there, and the seats do fold in 3 different ways, which is nice and handy. But as a whole, spacious enough. You can fit prams, golf clubs, and most normal things that you need to put in the boot. And lastly, let's talk about prices. So they start at about €46,000 in Ireland. However, if you do decide to spec it up to get something like this M235, you're going to be talking over 70 grand. Now, as a whole, it is a really good package. It drives brilliantly. It looks the part. I probably wouldn't go for it in yellow because it is a bit loud. However, a nice grey colour or black could suit the Irish roads very well. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. And if you'd like to search for BMWs for sale in Ireland from our trusted dealer network, then you can hit the link up there. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.